Hello and welcome to Simon's Trading Channel. My name's Simon. This is my daily Bitcoin price action analysis. Happy Wednesday to you all. I hope you're doing well, you're happy, and the first half of your week has gone well. I'd like to say the same for Bitcoin, but I can't. Certainly not if you're of the mindset of an investor or looking for upside. If you're the opposite, then you'll probably be feeling quite pleased. Now, I know we're only halfway through the week, but I just thought I'd check in on the weekly. And as you can see, it's made its way down towards the bottom of the range. And this range has existed in a robust way for, well, if it remains in the range by the end of this week, that will be 5 weeks within the range. This was 8, this was 8, this was 8, this was 12, this was 8. Was that 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. And this was 8. So there's a definite theme to the weekly price movements since the start of the bull run back over here at the end of 2022. And that has been generally upside, but with significant periods of consolidation. And you can say this. You can say the same for this range, as in consolidation, as long as it doesn't break down. And breaking down on the higher time frames would not look so good for Bitcoin. It would. I mean, it wouldn't change the overall picture, but you would expect a much bigger pullback at that point, maybe towards the low 50s, but and that's a very conspicuous wick, but not there yet, and I wouldn't be surprised if it bounced off the bottom of this range. However, that's just a guess. So yeah, I'm going to zoom down into the lower time frames now and dive into a 4-hour. I'll tell you what, while we're on the weekly, I will just check in on a DMACD. So, where is the MACD? Seems to have disappeared. Where are you, boy? There he is. As you can see, the momentum on the MACD on the weekly is still very much above the 0 line, which is my own little marker for general upside. I'm going to come on to the RSI in a moment, but on the lower time frames. Okay, so here we go, 4-hour time frame, which shows, Bitcoin, since it's been within this range quite nicely in a good amount of detail. And as you can see, up, down, up, not quite so far down, up, and then all the way back down to the bottom. And, is it done yet? Well, I mean, in yesterday's video when it was around here, I did say that, momentum's still to the downside, and I wouldn't be surprised if this wick is filled out, which is kind of what's happened. Is it done now? Still don't know, still not sure. And it's the trend, which is always your friend, is still to the downside. And the trend line I had on yesterday is still holding up. I don't know where it's gone. I must have been messing around with my charts, and I've managed to wipe it off somehow. But as you can see, you've got a sequence of lower highs and lower lows. Now, I wanted to show you my new RSI. So I often refer to RSIs, but I found this one, which is quite cool because it shows you divergences. And I've got the regular divergences on here that you can see. And there is some regular bullish divergence forming on the 4-hour time frame. There isn't on the daily. Clearly, the higher the time frame with the either bearish or bullish divergence, the bigger the potential moves when that then plays out. But this is significant because it's happening around the bottom of the range. So increasing momentum, which is basically what bullish divergence is, during a downtrend on a lower time frames, of course, does signify the dwindling selling pressure and the building of buying pressure, or the dwindling of shorting and the development of more longing, however you want to look at it. But it means that the momentum to the downside is getting less and the momentum to the upside is building. That's what divergence is when you're looking at momentum indicators. I would suggest that this is unlikely to be seen to be playing out until the RSI gets above the midpoint. Again, for me, that's just the way I kind of see these things. So even though there is bullish divergence there on the RSI, on the 4 hour, I don't see that playing out until the RSI gets back above the 50 read, which is the midpoint. So, who knows, maybe it'll occur, but at the moment, the 4 hour is very much in a downtrend. Now, where am I? What's the time? Time of the time, 6 minutes. Okay, so I'll have a quick look at the low time frames, 15 minutes. And it's a similar story, but you can see here in a bit more detail. So there's this wick down, followed by a bounce, and then a bit of a consolidation. It did try and make a move up, but then there was more of an impulsive move down to where the price has just got below that previous wick. Let's get rid of the RSI now. And it looks like it's moving down again. So what this says to me is there's no change in the overall trend, even on the lower time frames, which clearly isn't useful if you're looking for upside. What would look useful? Well, pardon me. What I can see from here is a mini range, a bit like I was talking to you yesterday, and I had this is the range bottom yesterday. This is the range bottom. I had the range high somewhere around there, and clearly Bitcoin didn't sustain any upside above the range, and it came back down and then it broke below. And it looks like it's been rejected off that mini range too. So by the same token, for today, on the very low time frames, I would say that, it could well be bouncing around between somewhere around, high 61,000s down to 59.5. And this picture wouldn't change too much. What you would clearly, closures on the 4 hour daily below the bottom of the range, which is coming at 59,000, it's a whole different ball game. But you would, or I would, expect some good support at the bottom of this range. And if you're going to be longing, then this is the place that you really want to long from, because you know that if you are wrong, then your stop loss is very small. If you longed at the top of the range, your stop loss is very large. No. Yes. Correct. Yes. If you shorted at the top of the range, your stop loss is very small. So the distance over which you know you're wrong is small, which is kind of what you want really when you're putting in a trade. I forgot to remind you, this isn't financial advice. That was well timed, wasn't it? And that's just a risk reward. I'm not going to go into the ins and outs of setting up trades because I can do that in the future, of course, but right now, no. So this is where I see the significant area for the very, very low very low time frame price action to need to close above to negate this downtrend, and back below here probably an assault on 59,000, and who knows what will happen from there on down should Bitcoin not be bouncy from this area if this does not hold up as support. Now, if I do a quick scribble, but I am running out of time, so this will be a quick scribble. similar to yesterday really. If it comes back down to the bottom, and then the middle of this bottom half is likely to give some resistance, probably more resistance at the midpoint, and then a bit like yesterday, if Bitcoin can get back above 66,000, which is quite far away from at the moment, then that paints a much different picture to the current one. It's quite far away from that, and it's probably no point in getting into that at the moment. So I'm probably going to leave it at that, 10.5 minutes. Yes, I'll leave it at that for now. I've got some more stuff for tomorrow. Please, if you've enjoyed the video, then like and subscribe. And if you haven't enjoyed the video, then don't come back tomorrow, because I'll be doing it all again. Okay, bye-bye.